In the previous video, I explained the design aspect. In design aspect, we considered three steps, three phases. One is task. In the task, we understood the problem and we uh, designed the probable output. Okay. Second one is analysis. That is the thinking process to bridge the gap between the problem domain and solution domain. That is a logical plan. The outcome of analysis is the logical plan. It is abstract. It is a thinking process only. So, in order to make it physical, what we are doing, we are writing the steps. Which steps we have to implement to get the result. Then, that we write in English only. That is called algorithm. Okay, that is the design aspect. Now, let's come to implementation. Implementation means writing code. For implementing the program or writing code, you must know the language and at the same time you should have a computer. However, in order to have a better understanding, I explain it through hands-on. Through this hands-on approach, you can understand every bit properly. Just imitate, as I told you already, just imitate me. Imitation is different, copying is different. How I am doing, how I am thinking, how I am implementing, all that you see, just you do that. By that, you can you can own the concepts. You never feel uncomfortable and you will start loving programming. Okay. Now, this is the CashBill program. Now, first, conventionally, we start with a comment. Here, for all the programs, you write the number. Then you can easily identify because we are going to perform hundreds of programs. So, if you write the number in the beginning, in the comment itself, then you can identify. Prima facie, you can identify which program you are writing. Okay, what is the task of the program? Preparing CashBill. Okay, like that. What is the task of the program? You write. This is nothing but a heading of a chapter. Okay. Thereafter, now we have to write a blueprint class. What name we have to give? Obviously, the CashBill. Simply give it CashBill. Then you can easily understand that. So don't make this process complicated. So simply CashBill. In which case you write? We write in Pascal case. Here two words are there. First letter is capitalized. Second letter is the second word. First letter is capitalized. Then you name it as a blueprint class. Blueprint class. Okay. Now somewhere this comes because we write many elements now. That's why closing I am not writing. Opening only I am writing. And always remember below the second letter you write the opening brace. By that you can identify block very easily. Now in our analysis, what we think of, how many variables we require. All input variables are declared as instance variables. Okay. How many are there? Obviously, with reference to the output, you can understand item means item name, number of items. Third one, rate per unit. The three instance variables are there. And what are the types? What are the names also you have to think of. First one, item name. Item name is the name. And what type? Obviously, it is a string. So, string, first letter capital. It is because string is a class. String, which case you write? You write in camel case. This is Pascal case. This is a camel case. Strictly follow the conventions. Don't behave like a college student. College student never bother about naming conventions, other things, but behave like a professional. Many times I am repeating this statement. Why? Because that is the importance. You must grow as a professional, not like a silly student. Okay. Next, int numbers. Okay. Next, because numbers in this context we are taking a whole thing, whole number. That's why we are taking as a int. Next one is a rate. Already I told you, a rate means the scope of paise always. That's why you take it as float. In this context, one different thing I tell you. Suppose this is the stationery or provision shop items. Here paise is important. No seller sacrifice paise. Okay, but if it is a gold and all that, you can ignore about paise. Gold merchant never bother about paise. That's why in if it is a gold item, then you can ignore. That's why I'm telling you, it's a matter of common sense. Every prospective programmer should have common sense. So, in common sense is very core. Here there is no scope for intelligence. So, common sense means what is going on around you. You have to understand. Okay. Now, three instance variables we have declared. Next, what should be done? They should be initialized. If we have to initialize the three, what should you do? You have to define the corresponding constructor. Constructor means nothing but a standardized initialization method. Standardized initialization method. What the name of that? Is the name. You don't have any choice. And what is the name of the class in which constructor is defined? The name of the constructor should be the same in all aspects. All aspects means not only spelling, case also. So, what you do? CashBill. Okay. Same order only you take. One is item name, second one is number, third one is rate. So, here parameters you write. String. Item name is simplified. IN. Same way you write. Then, next one, numbers. Int N. Or otherwise, if you want NOS also you write. And I write N only. Okay. Next, float. As I told you, it should be indicative. Whether you write numbers, short form you write, whether N or NOS, it makes no difference. Rate. Instead of R, RT if you write, it is quite indicative. Okay. Now we have written the header. Thereafter, you create a block. You create a block. Then you have to initialize. Actual names you take. Item name is equal to IN. Don't forget semicolon. It is like a full stop in the usual text is a terminator. Thereafter, numbers is equal to N. Thereafter, rate is equal to RT. Okay. Now we have successfully defined the constructor. Okay. Now instance variables we have defined, constructor we have defined. As a result of this constructor, the instance variables are initialized whenever an object is created. Okay. Now let us come to third item. Third item is actually in CashBill how many items are there? One is item name, second one numbers, third one rate, fourth one is amount. But amount is not there. Why amount is not there? Amount is output variable. So it should be calculated. If any calculations or operations are to be done, what should we do? We have to define a method. One instance method we define. That you see. This is calculate amount. Here you can write short names. And when you calculate amount, what should be its type? Its type should be float. That's why I have written float. And now again block you create. And in this float one local variable create, because amount is calculated, it should be stored. That's why AMT short names you can use. Nothing wrong in that. Now here how can you get amount? Numbers into rate. Same thing you have to take. So numbers into or rate. You have to write. Then numbers into rate is product is calculated and is stored in the amount. Then return amount you write. By that, amount is calculated and stored in the amount local variable, and it is returned. Return statement you have to write. So one instance method you have written, and now one more item is pending, that is demo cash bill.